Hi, I'm Clarissa the Boss Queen, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a story time on the time that one of my best friends, which is now my ex-best friend, tried to use me for a cruise trip. Okay, for her to go on a cruise trip. All right. So, all right. So I'm gonna get started with this story. Obviously, if this person ever finds this video, I'm telling my truth, and it is nothing but the truth. All right. So this person I've known ever since I used to live in Memphis, Tennessee. I met her back in 2002. We were both military brats. Her dad was in the military. My dad was in the military. They actually worked at the same um station. Okay. There in Memphis. So and then me and her actually met working on the base, military base. I used to work at the commissary. She was a cashier, I was a bagger. And we just started, just communicating at work. We had a lot of things in common. We like to go out, have fun. She liked to do she had liked to do some of the same things that I had liked to do. And so we ended up talking, and then the next thing I know, I think she either mentioned that her dad worked at one of the stations in Memphis, or I had mentioned that my dad worked there, and she was just like, "Wait a minute, your dad worked there?" And I said, "Wait a minute, your dad worked there?" She said, "Oh, our dad." And coming to find out, yes, both of our fathers worked at the same station. So it was like it was funny, but anyway, so I mean, we became good friends, and then eventually, I stayed there. I stayed in Memphis for like 6 years, and then I eventually moved back to Pensacola, Florida, back in 2003 by myself, and so me and her still kept in contact. We still remain friends no matter what, no matter if I move. So that's how you know you have a real friend, even if you move away. I thought I had a real friend, but anyway, even if you move away and you guys still keep in contact, you're still talking to each other on the phone, or you're texting each other, you're still keeping in touch on social media. That's a good friend. So I was just like, well, that's good. So anyway, as I was back here in Florida for about 3 years, she had mentioned something to me about going on a cruise trip. She said, "Girl, we've been friends for so long," and she said we never done nothing like really big or spectacular. She said something like, "Well, let's try to go on a cruise trip. We never did that." And I said, "That's perfect." I said, "That sounds really good." I said, "I would love to go on a cruise trip." I said, "Wow." I said, let's go for it." I said, "When we gonna go? We need to start planning this." So she was all down for it. She was like, "Yeah, I think we should go." She was like, "We should start planning and everything." And I had no idea what to do, how to get started with going on a cruise trip. So I think around about that time, one of my aunts, she had went on a cruise trip, and I think she had went a couple of times, and she was telling me information about the how to go on the cruise ship, what all you got to do. And she was telling me how much fun they have when they go on the cruise trips and stuff. And so she gave me the like all the information that I needed. So I was like so excited because I wanted to go back and tell, I'm not gonna say a person's name. I wanted to go back and tell my ex old best friend about the exciting news and about the information that I had found out about the about cruise trips. And so I couldn't wait to tell her. So before I even asked my aunt, like I said, me and her had been planning on like what month we were gonna go, what year we're gonna go, how many days we want to be gone, all that planning. Well, anyways, finally, when I got a chance to talk back with her, and I told her, I said, "Girl, I got some good news." I said, um, "I found out all the information that we need to go on a cruise trip." I said, "We just gotta pick the whatever cruise we want to go on, and just do this and that." And I forgot even to this day because I still haven't went on a cruise trip. I think I had printed it out or something, or my aunt had printed out the information that I needed to use. to try to plan to go on a cruise trip and all that stuff. And so I told my friend at the time, I said, yeah, girl, I got all the information now. I said, and now I said, we're gonna be ready to go now. And she said, yeah. She said, girl, yeah, just send me the information and we can go ahead and start planning. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I think I either took a picture of the information and sent it to her on her phone or whatever. And I said, yeah, girl, here. I was so excited. I said, yeah, girl, here. I'm about to take a picture of it and I'm gonna send it to you and you read over all the information and you get back with me and then we're gonna conversate more about when we're gonna go and what month, what year, and the dates and stuff. And I said, just hit me back up, when you get an idea of when you want to go. Well, she hit me back up about, I guess, a week or two later. And so I was like, she called me and I said, yeah, girl. I said, hey, what's up? I said, so you ready? I said, you ready to, like, let's plan and talk about this cruise trip that we're gonna be taking here in the future? So I said, I'm ready. What kind of ideas you got going on? And you know what she told me? She said, you talking about me and you going on a cruise trip? She said, me and you ain't going on no cruise trip. I was like, what? I was like, I was like, wait a minute. We've been talking and planning and saying that we're gonna go, and all of a sudden you're saying that me and you is not gonna go on a cruise trip. She hit me with, she hit me hard with this one. I wasn't even expecting this. I was shocked. I was surprised. She said, oh no, me and you ain't going. She said, I got the information so me and my man can go. Cause me and my man ain't never been nowhere like that. We ain't never been on a cruise trip. I said, excuse me? I said, so basically you just use me after I got she knew this way before I had got all of the information that we needed to go on a cruise trip. She knew that she was going to take her and her boyfriend. She just used me. I didn't even see it coming. It hit me like a freight train. I was like, she said, oh no, me and you ain't going. She said, I'm planning this cruise trip for me and my man and just me and my man only. She's like, you ain't going. And she said this after I sent her the information. After I sent her the information, still to this day, I don't ever even remember her saying that her and her man even went on a cruise trip. I don't even think they ever went. She just didn't want to go. And I was just like, she wanted to go, but she didn't want to go with me. She was just using me to get the information. And I felt so bamboozled. I felt scammed. I felt just horrible. And I was like hurting inside because I considered her one of my best friends because I had at back then in the day I used to call people my best friend. I don't call nobody my best friend no more. I'm my own best friend now. Anyway, she used to call me her sister. She used to call me sis or sister or whatever. That's how, she said, you're like a sister to me. And even when we were friends, like years ago, she would say that. And I said, how can someone call me their sister, even though we're not related, we're not blood or whatever? How can someone call me their sister and slash best friend and do me like that and use me? I expected this out of somebody who I probably just met a month ago or 2 months or maybe 6 months. I might have been friends with somebody for 6 months or 5 months and we tried to plan to go on a cruise. I expect that for somebody new, not somebody old that I've been friends with for like 10 years or 15 years. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was mad. I was mad. I said, well, that just go to show me how fake she was. And she just only used me to get the cruise trip information so that her and her boyfriend can go. Not me and her can go. So then to add more fuel to the fire, the time before that, now I'm gonna tell you the time how she bamboozled me out of money. And ever since, I said, damn, I said, she's supposed to be my best friend. But after I started catching on to how she was doing me, I cut her off. After, I was like, ooh, I could go on. It was another time. I'm gonna do two more times, okay? Ooh, I'm gonna do two more. Two more. Okay, I got one more. Okay, one more is when I used to live there back in the day in Memphis. She used to borrow money from me, and I would I trusted her since she was my friend, and I let her borrow the money, and she would always pay me back when I was living in Memphis. Okay, when I was living in Memphis, she would always pay me back if she borrowed money from me. Okay, then when I moved to Florida, right? She had asked for me to send her some money. So I was like, well, this is my friend and I trust her because when I was living in Memphis and she borrowed money from me, she paid me back every time, no problem, on time, all the time, and I didn't have no problem, right? So when I moved to Florida, she had called me and she was like, oh, sis, I need to borrow, $100 and I'll pay you back. So I trusted her because she used to always pay me back when I lived there, right? So I sent her $100. I think I must have Western Union it or send it through money order. And so I said, I ain't got no worries. She gonna pay me back. She paid me back when I lived up there in Memphis every time she borrowed money from me. So I don't have no worries. How about she didn't pay me that? How about she didn't pay me that $100 back? I guess she assumed that since I wasn't living in Memphis no more, that she didn't have to pay me back. And how about every time after that, when she didn't pay me back, and she would call me with a sob story or call me pole mouthing, I would let it go in one ear and out the other. I didn't even pay no attention. I didn't even feel sorry for her, and I didn't even send her no more money, no more after that. So that was like the second time she tried me. Okay, a third time, and it might have been, this is three strikes you out. Okay, a third time she tried me, same girl. This happened like not too long ago, a couple of years ago, 2, 3 years ago. She was about to get married, right? And she had been planning her wedding for the longest time. And I remember her mentioning it to me one time. She was planning her wedding. And I said, well, girl, when you get your dates and stuff, your dates and month together, let me know ahead of time. Please let me know ahead of time so that I could take off from work and everything like that. So she was like, okay, girl, I'm going to make sure I let you know ahead of time. I'm going to get back with you. Well, how about when she did finally get back with me about her wedding, because she wanted me to be in her wedding, and I said, you definitely need to let me know ahead of time. She finally told me, but it wasn't ahead of time. It wasn't ahead of time. And keep in mind, me and her were supposed to be best friends, and she called me sister. Okay. All right. So she let me know at the last minute, not ahead of time, at the last minute. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, her birthday was supposed to have been in April, and she waited till like the middle of February, or matter of fact, the ending of February. I think she told me. She told me like the ending of February, maybe the first part of March, about her wedding. I was the last to know, and I was so shocked about that too. I didn't have time to prepare because at the time she was living in Memphis at this time, and I'm living in Florida. So if I have to go to her wedding, I would have to buy a plane ticket if I decide to take a plane, or if I decide to get a rental car. I would have to save up money for either one. Okay, that was short notice for me to save up money for the transportation on how I'm going to get up there. I had to, just make sure I had a hotel room, reserve a hotel room. All that stuff adds up. And you want to plan this early. You want to reserve things early. That's just how I am. I like to tell people stuff way ahead of time so that they can make preparations for whatever it is that they need to do. But she waited to the last minute, and her wedding was just like a month or a month and a half away. I was like, there ain't no way, girl. You just started planning this. You've been planning this, but you told whoever you wanted to tell early in it and in advance, but you waited to tell me at the last minute. Like, I just come lately to you now all of a sudden. So I end up not even being at her wedding because I know she was lying to me. And why would she do me like that? I have been such a good friend to her. I don't know. That's why I really don't have too many female friends. I could sit up here. It'll take me 20 years to tell you about how many female friends that have done me wrong. And that's why I don't really fool with female friends to this day. Okay. But yeah, that makes 3 times. 3 times she had did me wrong. And after the wedding thing, 3 straights, she was out. I mean, she was out. I was done. I was like, no more being friends with this girl. She was not a real true friend. I said she better not ever try to track me down and call me and ask me for any kind of help for anything else because I'm not gonna help her. I'm not going to help her. But yeah, so I mean, at first I thought it was at one time by the cruise ship, but it had been other times too. But yeah, she bamboozled me out of the cruise trip. She didn't pay me back my money, $100 that I let her borrow, and she also tried me with her wedding, and so she missed out on a perfect bride. I think I was gonna be her bridesmaid, and so that's her fault. She when I stepped back out of her wedding, she had to find another bridesmaid to replace me. Oh well, should have never lied. But anyway, but yeah, that's how scandalous some friends can be. So it doesn't matter. It's not the people that's closest to you you have to worry about. Well, it's not. No, I'll put it this way: it's not the strangers that you have to worry about, or new people that you just meet you have to worry about. It's the ones that's been closest to you, that's been riding with you for 10, 20 years. The people that's right up under your nose. Those are the ones that you have to watch out for. Those are the ones that will try you every time. So just be careful. Just be careful, okay? Everybody is not your friend. Know that you can only trust yourself and nobody else because friends, I'm telling you, no good, no good. But I thought I would share that story time with you. Maybe this story time could help somebody else who was probably being used. So when you are a good person like myself, people want to tend to try to use you for anything, and just try to know the signs when you see them. Don't try to be too nice to that person. Don't keep being nice to that person. Just back off or back away, or just delete them out of your life, because they will still keep trying to use your energy, still keep trying to use you, and you don't want that. Okay, so all right, so you guys, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Give this video a thumbs up, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.